a lot cooler.
There we go.
The lights lead right through the back.
What's up everyone, this is Joe Sorrentino, New England RC, and today I'm going to continue my coverage of accessory upgrades for the Traxxas Xrt. So before we start, I just want to show you what I've done so far to the vehicle. So the obvious things are these new tires here that I put on. These are the Traxxas Sledgehammer tires. Beefier, bigger tires that are much better for doing flips on the vehicle. As shown from the last video, we were able to achieve that. Link in the description if you're looking for these. Additionally, I put a new handle here, as well as these new wheelies that match the handle, same color, red. Both the wheelies and the handle come from PRIMO RC, an aftermarket vendor that I found on eBay. Link in the description if you're looking for these. With the body off, I can now show you that I also upgraded these body lights that you can see here, all within inside the vehicle. So when I put the body shell on, it lights everything up at night. It looks really cool. Then also, you can see here, this little XRT wing bumper gives it a little extra protection, supports this area here when it takes a big hit, bigger and beefier, so that it's less likely to break. And that came from Garage Light RC. Link in the description if you're looking for these. These lights came from a company on Amazon called TiK. I've been using them right along with all my RC vehicles, and we're actually going to be adding more lights today, also from TiK. I've also added these front lights that you can see here, as well as these back lights that you can see lit up now. And these come from POLO Creations. You can buy stuff through them directly through their website, polocreations.com. You can also find them on eBay as well. Link in the description if you're looking for these. I also upgraded these shock boot covers, and just a quick correction from one of my last videos. I said these were the Anaconda shock boot covers. I meant to say these are actually the Black Mamba shock boot covers. I'm getting my snakes mixed up. And now I know why I got the snakes mixed up, because I have a vehicle called an Anaconda. That's why I was getting confused on the last video. So Black Mamba shock boot covers. Link in the description if you're looking for these. Prior to the Traxxas Sledgehammer tires, I was using these stock tires where I had painted the rims red and also painted the text here white. These are the paint markers that I used to paint the tires. I have links in the description if you guys are looking for these as well. Also, I had to replace this whole wing base itself because I had cracked it on a prior video. So I had replaced this entire piece, found it on eBay, and if you guys need this, I will also provide a link in the description for that piece as well. Also, one other thing I didn't mention on any of my videos prior is I did an upgrade on my batteries as well. So you can see here that the Z batteries that I purchased are 9,000 milliamps, so they're going to be a lot more power. And as comparison, you can see the Traxxas batteries, these are 6,700 milliamp, so they're going to be a lot less power. They're not going to last as long as these Z batteries will. And so that's part of why I like the Z batteries better. And additionally, they're cheaper too. So you get more for your money. You can get it for two of these for almost the price of one of these Traxxas batteries. Check out these Z batteries. They've been working out really great for me. I'll put a link in the description as well for these batteries if you're looking for them. And the XRT comes equipped with the Traxxas connector. So in order to connect this to the Z battery connection, you need to go with this type of an adapter, which is it's a Traxxas female to an EC5 male connector. That's how you'd be able to connect these without having to cut the ends off and solder connections to make it work. This is a better way, I think. That way you can interchange batteries. If you still want to use your Traxxas batteries, you still can, but you also have the ability to use these as well. So you guys need these adapters. Links in the description on where you can find them. So I've already covered quite a few things as far as accessory add-ons for the Traxxas Xrt. There's just a few more things that I wanted to do before I'd say this would be a complete vehicle. And that today is going to include this little bag here, which is a dust cover bag to go over this because I'm putting a lot of lights on here now and I don't want loose wires all around. I figure with a dust cover bag, it's not only going to help with preventing leaves and other debris from getting inside the chassis, but also to protect it so I don't have loose wires going all over the place as well. Keep everything in one place and intact. So that's why we'll be adding that today. Also today, I'm adding more lights, as I mentioned. These are the TiK lights. Same ones I have on the vehicle already, except I want to put these lights on the bottom. That way we can get a little bit of underglow action as well, which I've done on some of my other vehicles you may have seen in some of my prior videos. It's just gonna give it a little more brightness overall, so the whole thing lights up better all around. And you guys will see the difference once I add the lights. You'll see what I'm talking about. And the last thing I wanna add, these are referred to as the side trails. These are the aluminum side trails in red to match my vehicle. You can see I've got the stock black ones on there now. They're plastic, so we're gonna be upgrading those to aluminum. These don't really add a whole lot to the vehicle's performance, but it's just a nice little cosmetic look that I just think looks cool. I did it with my X-Max, so I figured I'd do it with the XRT as well. So we'll do all three of those upgrades today. Let's go. All right, so let's start with the easiest thing to put on, which will be this one here. It looks like it's just 2 screws that need to come off, one on each side here to get these rails off. So we'll start with that. We're just gonna find the right screwdriver in my tool kit and we can get these off. Found the tool, let's give it a go. All right, next up, I'm gonna remove these from the packaging. Again, these are the GPM aluminum side trails. Link in the description if you're looking for these. Yeah, these are really nice. You can see the difference in quality compared to the more flimsy plastic ones that come stock. It's just a nice add-on. Like I said, doesn't add a whole lot of more durability, does help a little, and it does look cool, so it's just a minor modification. It also comes with its own set of screws, so that's good. Maybe we'll use these instead of the ones that were stock. 4 screws, 2 on each side. Before we begin, we'll line up the screws first, 1 on each side. That way we're not fussing around trying to get them in later. Now that they're already lined up, we'll just stick this underneath, kind of holds it in position, and now we just tighten. Easy, done. Nice quick add-on, has a nice little enhancement to it. Let's do the other side. All right. Quick, easy fix. And that looks a lot cooler with the red side trails there. I guess it does add a little extra protection to the chassis here, which is plastic. So having a little aluminum on there doesn't hurt and it matches the body. It does add a little more weight to the vehicle though as well, but not a whole lot. Next up, we're going to add the additional ELICHOK red body lights. And again, these are the waterproof kind that have the extra plastic around the casing so the LEDs are not as exposed. Strongly recommend, if given the option, to go with waterproof whenever possible. It just helps you out a lot more in the long run when it comes to anything getting damaged or the chance of any fires. So keep that in mind. Link in the description if you're looking for these. So let's cut open the ELICHOK lights. In order to get these to work with the existing lights that I've already added to the body, I'm going to need an additional Y adapter. If you guys are looking for these, I will put a link in the description. These usually come in packages of 4, and one end will go to this end, which you can see splits off the 2 sets of lights here on one side, and the other end will just go to the connection that I'm going to need to split in a second. So I've already got these 2 ends here that I had pulled out prior from the electric box in here, and we're working with just these 2. So I want to add an additional line. I'm already using this one for the front and back lights. This one is to the front light, this one's to the back light, and this one here is used for the existing red body lights. I'm going to daisy chain off of this one. So we're going to add a splitter here. All right, I reconnected the batteries. Everything's connected. All the lights are reconnected. Now let's fire up the truck and see if everything works. All right. We can see the red lights are working. So that's great. Now we just got to figure out how to mount everything. So we'll go ahead and do that next. All right, just noticed the problem. The front lights went out when I added extra lights here. But I noticed if I pull this out, the front lights come back on. And if I try reversing it, it doesn't affect it. It will work one or the other. We're gonna have to daisy chain elsewhere. So I'm gonna try daisy chaining off of the other side and see if that makes a difference. Well guys, it appears it's gonna be a little more challenging than I was anticipating. I'm unable to daisy chain off of the light strips that I thought I could. I've done it before with other vehicles. For whatever reason, this is not allowing me to. It's just giving me one or the other as an option. I can't have everything everything at once. That being said, it's still doable. It just means that I'm going to have to pull another auxiliary input from inside the electric box. So I'm going to have to get back in there and put a splitter with one of the other connections that's already plugged in order to make this work. So we'll do that next. All right, I got the box open now, guys, and good news is there appears to be 3 open ports here. I just had to pull one out. This one actually goes to one of those 3, but that leaves me with 2 additional ports. So I'm probably going to go with these 2 channels here, channel 3 and channel 1. Okay, and that worked. We've got the lights on the front, lights on in the back. Body lights that are already there are nicely lit, and now the new set of lights are also lit. Everything seems to be operational. Good. So now I just got to reset up the box, close that up again, and we should be golden. So I feel like I'm going to have a tough time getting all these wires through this little hole here once I try to get this reconnected. And it's a really tight connection with these short wires here, these Y cable splitters here. So what I'm going to do also, just to make it a little easier, is I'm going to add these little jumper cable extensions that are going to go between the port and the splitter. So it just gives me a little more wiggle room so that when I take the box on and off, I'll have a little more play running the wires up and through it. And I just think it's a little better when you do that, because if you have things too tightly down, you run the risk of things getting pinched or pulled apart. So this will just make things a little easier. So let's do that next. Okay, so you can see now I added these extension cables in the same place where those ports were. Next up, I'm going to run the box through here and the cables out through it, and then we'll reconnect the splitters once we have the box back in place, and then we'll test it. So I got a whole lot of splitters going on now. So just to simplify things, guys, I've got one dedicated output going to everything already on the truck. From the bottom port, I've got a jumper cable which connects to a splitter. That splitter connects one side to the front and back, and then another splitter going to the 2 left and right body lights already on the truck. And then in turn, I have an additional port now set up, which goes to an additional set of lights going left and right, which is going to go on the bottom of the truck. Now comes the fun part of trying to figure out how to get this set of lights on the bottom of the truck without too much stuff in the way. And this is going to be the hardest part. You don't want anything pulling on these wires, and this is going to take a lot of abuse. It's going to get jumped and all kinds of fun stuff. Really not a smart thing to do, guys. I like to push the limits here, but I will say one thing. Even the hobby store guys tell me not to do what I'm about to do here. So do this at your own risk. So I'm going to go through the center here, this hole here, because it looks like I can actually connect through here without interfering with anything in between. And this does look like a good spot because I'm able to connect the wire there. You can see there's nothing interfering with that spot if I come up and through here. So that's what I'm going to do. So I think the best way to do this is to go through here and just straight down all the way up to the end here. And then any extra slack can just go up and through the back inside the truck. So I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm going to peel off the sticky back on each of these, and then I'm going to glue it down. And then we'll see how it looks and what kind of wiggle room is needed after that. I was actually thinking about splitting this up and putting one down here, but I'm just worried about this rod spinning around and catching that. So I don't want that in the way. So I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to leave them both in the same hole on this side for that reason. Yeah, so you can see on this side, it would have been nice to have one on each end coming out, but not with that rod through there. It just wouldn't be wise. So we'll keep them both on the same side here where there's nothing interfering. And we'll just put one here, we'll stretch one across here. That's the plan. All right, so right now I'm gonna peel off the blue sticky back. I'm gonna be careful not to get the white sticky stuff there along with it, because you gotta be careful when you do that. Peel it off, stick it on, and then we're gonna glue it down real nice with a nice hot glue gun that's been warming up ready for me. So let's do that now. When you do this, it's always good to kind of scratch it along with your thumbnail a little bit first before you pull, because it's really easy to just wanna like pull right here when you have this all sticking together. And if you pull that part too, you pull the white part off, which is the glue. So you don't want to do that. You got to make sure you just kind of scratch a little off so you can kind of get your finger around it, and then you can peel it off without peeling the sticky back. I've done that before, so that's why I'm warning you guys ahead of time. Unfortunately, even when you do peel it off correctly, this stuff does not stick well. Almost never sticks, and that's why you got to have hot glue. And when you do this, folks, don't be stingy with the glue. I mean, really get it on there, because you don't want anything pulling or tearing on you when you're jumping this thing around. What I'm liking right here is that there's this nice groove. You can see the like holes, the grooves along here, which really helps you to kind of press it inside. I just like try to get it inside that groove. A little trickier when we get to this end here, but this definitely is a good starting place. So we'll start there and work our way down. There we go, looking good. And so when you guys do this at home, don't be afraid to like layer lots of glue right over on the lights themselves too. Trust me, it's not going to hurt them. They can handle it, especially if you got the waterproof kind that already have a plastic covering over it. Your little extra glue is only just going to reinforce it, make it stronger, which is something that I strongly recommend if you're daring enough to do what I'm doing here. And again, not a smart thing to do, because you are running a risk having something on the bottom like this, and things do happen. I don't recommend it. It's just something that I like to do. So just before you flip out and tell me how I'm doing something that I shouldn't be, I'm well aware. I just wanted you guys to know this is the safest way to do it if you do choose to do it. So just make sure everything's well coated and stick things in the grooves wherever possible, so there's nothing that's going to pop out on you when this thing's riding along the ground, because you do have lights exposed here. And also when you do it, try to stay away from any screw holes that you can see here. You can see how I made my line as close to the body as possible, avoiding any holes wherever possible. So in case you do have to pull things apart, you can still get to it without having to rip the lights out again afterwards. I'm particularly nervous about this end part here. There's a hole there on the far end where the corner meets. I put a little extra glue there in the hole, and I've got this tipped up on end now so the glue doesn't fall through. It dries super fast, guys, so when you do this, you gotta move quick. But this should hopefully hold. Looks like we got a nice foundation here. All right, coming at it from the other end here. Now we have a little bit of extra play here, which is why the dust cover bag is going to be coming on in a moment, because we have all these wires here and I don't want things in the way. But in addition, I'm going to zip tie this up a little bit to neaten this up a little so it looks better and we don't have things dangling. All right, so let's do that. All right, and that's a lot neater now. I just kind of zip tied everything all together here. Bit of a cluster here going on, but that's the neatest way I could do it. All right, so everything's all tight and nice. I got the lights on the body and also the lights on the bottom now too. All right, let's see how we did. Okay. Lights in the front, lights in the middle, lights in the back, and it looks like we've got lights on the bottom too. Yeah, boy. There it is. Nice. All right. Let's see how this looks like in the dark. Oh, boy. There we go. Nice. We were nice and lit up before, but now we are really lit up. Now the ground's going to be all nice and lit when I drive this around. So now we're looking awesome. Little red double. That should be fun. We'll try that outside in a minute, but before we do, let's get the dust cover bag on. And now for the last accessory upgrade of the day is the dust cover bag. Link in the description if you're looking for these. So let's go ahead and open that up. Seems awfully small. But I guess that's gonna fit. I'm gonna stretch it out. Best part about these dust cover bags is it doesn't interfere with the lights. You can see it's like see-through, so the lights will bleed right through it. It won't even matter. But the ideal thing here is that now I have something to cover all the wires so things aren't exposed when we're driving along. So that'll be good. All right, so I'm going to secure this as best I can. We'll glue it down with the hot glue because the sticky back never works very well on these either. And then we'll see how that looks. I think the best way to do this is to cut all the pieces that come along with it, this sticky back that it comes with. Cut them to fit it first. Zip this thing up, make sure everything's tight, and then just kind of lay everything out the way it's going to be before you stick anything down. Once you have everything attached, then peel off the sticky back and then put it on. It's the easiest way. And then it won't stick very well, so don't expect much, but at least it gives you a base to work with. And then after that, hot glue the crap out of it afterwards. That's the only way to hold it down. But be careful of the zippers when you're gluing it, because I've made that mistake in the past, because it won't zip if you get glue in there, and then you'll have to scrape it out. And you can also strip the zipper if you do that, so you got to watch that. But just be mindful when you do it, take your time, and you'll get it done. Now I'm going to do it right now. All right, you can see I've got everything laid out now all around here. All the pieces are cut and everything looks like it's going to work fine. Now we just got to stick it down, and voila, looks pretty good. So everything right now is sticking okay because it's fresh sticky back and holding for the moment, but I know from the past experiences with my other vehicles that this never really holds up very well. So I'm going to reinforce it with some hot glue. Okay, now everything's all glued down. You can see all around the sides here, so that's holding pretty good now. I tried my best to get down around here. I probably should have put these trail rails afterwards because I couldn't really get under here too well. I just avoided that and I just went kind of right here, left that alone, and hit this side again, and then up and around here, you can see, and on the other side too. Now when I want to unzip it, I got it here in the front. I got the zippers here, one on each side, and one on this side. Okay, pull it off and it still remains there. Now I can peel off the layer. Everything's there what I need. Perfect. All right, let's see how it looks. There. Zip it back up. Velcro this side down. Okay, zip it on this side. You can see here that the lights lead right through the bag. Look great. Everything's secure. Wires are safe now. Don't have to worry about anything falling loose on me when I'm jumping this thing around. Everything's nice and tight, secure, and looking awesome. So let's put the body on. We'll let it rip and see how it looks at night. Already looking good out there. Oh boy, it's bright now. Check it out. See all that underglow now? Didn't have that before. Now we're nice and bright already. Cool. We even get a little underglow going through the wheels a little bit, so it looks like the wheels are lit up a little too. Kind of cool. And of course, the lights in the back. Really nice, really popping. Really cool. Alright, let's take it for a quick little drive. Just a sea of red when this thing goes. Just check out how cool that looks like underneath those beads of light. Okay guys, it's really late at night, so I don't want to do a wheelie right now because I'm going to disturb the neighbors, but I just want to show you what this looks like when it does do a wheelie. How cool is that? So, you guys get the idea. Alright, taking it in. More testing later. Back to the shed. So that's going to do it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this 3-part accessory upgrade video for the Traxxas Xrt. You can see now the red glowing underglow lights underneath there. We've got the red trail rails that are matching the body now. And underneath we have the dust cover bag. So 3 accessories done today. Things looking great. As far as any additional accessories, the only immediate needs that I'm thinking is maybe to paint these tires, the text white like I did before with the other ones. And other than that, maybe down the road I'll update the pinion gear, see how fast we can get this thing to go. Not quite at that point where I'm ready to do that yet, because you know sometimes when you do that, then you run into other trouble. So we'll enjoy this for what it is for now, and at some point we'll get to that as well. But that's most of what I'm planning to do to this truck. I'm really digging what it looks like right now. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos as well. And if so, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel and smash the notification bell to stay updated on when my next video becomes available. Until then, this is Joe Sorrentino saying thanks for watching. See you on the next one.